this session, we will be reviewing XCapture. XCapture is the electronic form of inputting your members into the system. You can access XCapture through the desktop by logging into Club Systems and clicking on XCapture at the top of your screen. You can also access the XCapture forms through a mobile device such as a tablet or an iPad. Once clicking on XCapture, all of your different membership types will show for you, in which you'd be able to select the membership type that the member is signing up for, and proceed on with inputting the customer information, and finally getting a signature at the bottom, completing the entry of this member into the system. Once we click Continue at the bottom, the member would now be a member in Club Systems. To take a look at how to set up XCapture, we are going to go to Setup, located on the left side of your screen, and focusing on the icon that is labeled XCapture here under Setup. As the screen opens, we have some icons on the right side, starting with the first one, which is called New Option. All of your different membership types would have to be inputted as options so that they appear on your XCapture screen. So when inputting the first one, we would click on New Option. At the very top, our first field is called Make Available. This is if you had multiple locations and were needing to specify which location this membership type would be available at, you would be able to do so here, or you can just leave it to the default of all locations to make it available at all of your locations or for your one specific location that you have. The next field is called Offer Name, where we are to input an offer name for this particular membership type. You can have it be the same name as what the membership type is called. The next field is called Member Type, where you would select from your member type menu the type of membership this is. The next field is a drop-down menu called Member Group, where you would be able to specify if maybe this membership option was tied to a specific member group. Our next field is called Number of Members, where you would specify how many members are allowed to sign up for this membership. If this is a single membership, then you would select the number 1, whereas if this is a family membership, you can go and select 5, which would just simply allow you to input as many as 5 members on this membership when signing up the customer. Beneath Number of Members, we have how the membership is to be billed, and you would select from one of the options here. Term is how long the membership will be for, whether it's a 12-month membership, 24-month membership, or maybe it's simply open-ended, meaning that it's more of a month-to-month membership. You would make the selection here that ties into this membership option. Next, we can put them on a billing cycle. Putting them on a billing cycle is simply notating when the member is going to be billed during one of your billing cycles. So if you, for example, bill your members on the 1st and all of your members are billed on the 1st, then you can preset this option to have a billing cycle of cycle 1, which is just your first and only billing cycle. If you bill twice a month, for example, on the 1st and the 15th, we're now dealing with 2 billing cycles, cycles 1 and 2. So cycle 1 would be for those members billing on the 1st, and cycle 2 would be for those members billing on the 15th. As you notice, you only have the options of 0 through 9. So these are not identifying the day of the month that the member will be billed on, but rather if they're going to be billed out on your first billing cycle, on your second billing cycle, and so on and so forth. If you rather leave this open so you can select the billing cycle to put the member on at the time of sign up, then here we would just leave it set to select that sign up, and then you would have the option of selecting a cycle at that time. The next field we have is called Amount, where we would input the amount that's to be billed for this particular membership option. And if you would like this to be adjustable from that sign up page on XCapture, then you can check the little box that says Allow Adjustments, and that will have that field open where you would be able to click into the amount field and change it on a case-by-case basis if necessary. The field beneath that is called enrollment fee. If you do charge any sort of enrollment fee or sign-up fee at the time of joining, you would be able to notate what that amount is here, as well as allow for any adjustments. If you would like to have the ability to adjust that enrollment fee on a case-by-case basis at the time of sign-up, then just make sure to check the box that is allowing for adjustments. If you do have your members prepay, say, first month or last month at the time of joining, then you can check the appropriate boxes for that. If you also prorate your membership dues, you can check the box that's labeled prorate as of, and then you would select as of your billing date. So if you bill your members on the 1st, you can select to prorate as of the 1st, and when signing up this member, the system would do the calculation for you as to what's due today. The next selection is to post transaction, yes or no. Posting the transaction means that once you sign up a member using XCapture, whatever is due today will automatically post to that member's account as being owing, in which case you would have to turn around directly after signing them up and go to point of sale and take a payment, a receive payment for what is owing on their account as of right now. If you select no, that you do not want to post a transaction, then that would not post any owing amount to the member account, and you would just proceed on to the point of sale and ring them up as normal for any thing that's due today, whether it's the membership, any enrollment fees would have to be brought up on the point of sale and payment taken for it at that time. There is benefit to not posting the transaction because it will allow for a little bit more of accurate reporting when you do have to go to point of sale and bring up your inventory items one by one on the inventory section or on the receipt side, and you'll be able to keep better track of what's being sold via memberships, also for your enrollment fees that are being collected, since you are having to bring those items up on the actual point of sale. Those will be recorded just a little bit more accurately versus posting the transaction to the member account and simply taking payments for those. You'll have a lot of received payments on your report versus actual itemized membership sales, enrollment fee collected, etc. So post-transaction, yes, if you do want to show the owing amount on the member account and then take payment for it, or post-transaction, no, if you would rather not show what's owing and go to the point of sale and ring it up when you're done signing them up through XCapture. Description is where you could type in a short description about what this membership offers, what it includes, what the member can expect. Anything that you do type in this description box will be shown on the XCapture screen under the membership option itself. You'll notice that there's a description line under each membership type where anything you're typing into that box will be shown here for the customer to read. The two fields directly beneath description are called offer starts and offer ends. This is if you would like to set some sort of date setting for this particular membership type. Maybe this is a promotional item, maybe this is a seasonal item where you only want this to appear on your XCapture screen during certain dates. You would be able to make those modifications here. At the bottom of this option, there is a series of checkboxes, and this is simply notating which one of your terms and conditions you do want to show on the XCapture screen for this option to have your member review and agree upon. So if you do want to require notice of dues renewal, you would make sure to check this box, and those terms and conditions would appear for this option when the member is signing up through XCapture. And the same would go for any of these other terms and conditions that you want to make required. If you do offer additional services and you would like to make these available for sign up when a member is being entered through XCapture, you can also select at the bottom to show additional services. This will prompt your additional service menu to populate down here at the bottom, and you would be able to select from your options here which ones you would like to show for this particular membership option on XCapture. Which one of your services would you also like to include? So if a member would like to sign up for these as well, they would have the option to do so from that XCapture screen. So you would simply check off the ones that you would like to show on the particular screen. And you'll notice that you have some different fields for modification, like if the pricing needs to be adjusted, if this is to be an annual fee, and also if you want to allow for adjustments on the pricing from the XCapture screen, you can make those necessary modifications if you'd like. Once we've inputted all of the details for this first membership option, we're going to click Save at the bottom. That's going to be included on our list of options under XCapture, and it will also be an option that you're going to be able to see on your XCapture screen to select from. Down the line, if you need to make modifications to any one of your XCapture options, you will come into the XCapture icon under Setup, select the option that you would like to modify, and then simply click on Modify option off to the right. This will bring up all of the original settings that you have for this particular membership type, so you can make any adjustments to this type if you would like. Just make sure that you're always clicking Save at the bottom. You do also have the option to delete a particular membership type out if you would like it removed from your XCapture screen. You would come into this XCapture icon under Setup, select the one that you would like to remove, and simply click on Delete option. We're going to take a look at design now. Design is where you would go to specify the colors that are showing here on your XCapture screen. We certainly here at Clip Systems can input your company logo at the top. If you send us just a JPEG of your particular gym logo, we can definitely put this up at the top section for you, so that is showing when you click on XCapture. But you would be able to go in and customize the colors of these screens as well as the font. Once you click the option that you would like, it's taking you to a secondary screen where you can also customize the colors and the font colors that show up on the screen as well. So to do the design of the actual XCapture and how it looks, we still stay in the same section of XCapture under Setup and click on Design. Up at the top is where you're going to have the color selections to specify what you would like to see on each one of the screens. So starting with the first field, which is called Background Color on Selection Page, if you click on the little square that's off to the far right, this is going to bring up a color grid, and you would be able to select the color family that you would like to go in and view, and then select the particular shade that you would like to appear there for that first field, and so on and so forth. So just click on the right square and select the colors that you would like for each one of these particular items. As we scroll down, you're going to have a series of sections here or boxes where you would input the verbiage for your different terms and conditions that you do want to appear on XCapture, and you do want your members to be able to review and agree upon. So you would just start at the first section and input your dues renewal terms and conditions verbiage here, and so on and so forth. Any of the terms and conditions that you always make required for your members to review and agree upon when they're signing up, just make sure the verbiage is inputted here. If you have that verbiage stored on, say, a Word document where you can copy and paste it into these fields, you can certainly do so, or you can simply just type it into the appropriate sections. As we scroll down a little bit further, you're going to notice that there's a couple of email boxes here to format. So starting with the first one, that's called Member Email Confirmation. Being that this is an electronic form versus a paper form, when the member signs up via XCapture, and as long as we're including an email address for them on their form, then once they complete filling out their contract via XCapture, they will automatically have a copy emailed to them for their records. So this first email setup here would be just a message that's going to go along with the attachment of their contract. If you would like to include a thank you for joining message, a welcome message, or anything pertaining to their contract that they're about to receive, feel free to input that message here, and this is the message that would go along with the attachment of their contract that they're going to be receiving via email. As we scroll down a little bit further, and we're going to cover this more in depth when we talk about Prospect XCapture and Personal Training XCapture, but being that you can input prospects or potential members to the XCapture as well using Prospect XCapture, This is where you would input the waiver and release information for a prospect. Once the prospect is inputted into your system, if you would like to have them expire after a certain number of days, you can specify that here. When somebody is inputted as a prospect, if you give them a certain number of visits to try out the club, you can specify that at this time as well, and that will just allow them to check in this many times as being a prospect in the system. And being that prospect XCapture waiver and release information that requires a signature will also be sent to that prospect member as an email. They'll receive an attachment of the form that they signed as well. This is the message that would just go along with that. So if you would like them, to send some sort of thank you for considering our club, or, some of the offers that you have, this is a message that they're going to receive along with the attachment of their prospect form that they filled out via XCapture. So feel free to input a message here that you would go send along with their prospective member form that they're going to receive via email. Once you've made adjustments to this section, at the very bottom, you're going to make sure to click Save to keep those saved in your system. There is a couple of other icons here to cover. We'll next go to Additional Services. Additional Services, again, is just showing you currently what you have set up now as an additional service in your system. So this is allowing you to specify certain service types that you do want to make available for your different membership options. So anything that you would like to show under your different member options, just check it off as to show on the far left here. The amount columns can be adjusted if necessary. You can select the term on how this is billed. If this particular service is, set up under like a 12-month contract for the service, or if it's simply going to go just month to month, etc. You can also make specifications on how it's billed. Is it open-ended billing? Is it term billing? In which case, like say for example, if this service was a 12-month contract for the service, then as far as the billing is concerned, we would set it up to term if we just only wanted it to be billed for that 12-month period. And if it was month to month, then we can have the end billing set to open-ended. Just means it would be continuous and ongoing until you as the gym goes in to cancel that service for the member or end the billing for it. There's also some other specifications if you want to charge first month's dues for the service, charge last month's dues for the service at the time of sign up. Do we want to post the transaction to the member account as being owing when the member is signing up and then take a payment for it directly after, or no, to not post the transaction, in which case you would just go into your point of sale and charge the member for it after they're done signing up through XCapture. And then there's some other particulars here pertaining to personal training. If you charge your customers for personal training on a monthly basis, and maybe with every monthly charge for their training, they get a certain number of sessions added to their account, that's where these two columns come into play. If you had some sort of service here, maybe called training, and for just example purposes, we'll just use this tanning one as an example. Maybe for tanning, they get a certain number of sessions each time they're drafted, that $15 rate. And you would just also specify under session service, tie in the item from point of sale that goes along with this as well. So your point of sale item that matches up with all of this. So that's when these two columns come into play. If it's more of a visit or a session count that they get monthly, you can make those specifications here. If you've made any adjustments to the service area, you would just click Save at the bottom to keep those in your system. And then finally, the last icon that we see in this section under the XCapture setup is this one that's called Change Form. Through XCapture, you do have the capability of not only signing up new members, you can do rewrites on current members, but you can also utilize XCapture to do what are called change forms. At the very bottom of the screen, you'll notice that there is an option to select called Change Forms. So change forms are billing update request forms, freeze request forms, and cancellation requests. Those are the three common ones that we have in this section. So versus using paper forms to have the members fill out, if you'd rather do it electronically, you can set those up here in XCapture. So to set up your change forms, we would come into the setup for XCapture and click on change form. And it's going to give you a few sections here, and it's letting us know at the top of each section what this is for. So the first one is to set up the stipulations for filling out a freeze form. Then we go on into the billing change form, and then we have a cancel change form. So starting at the very top, if you do want to allow your members to request a freeze using the XCapture online forms, they'll have a copy of it emailed to them automatically. A copy of it gets stored on their account under their online documents. So it just cuts down on the paperwork. So if you do want to implement any one of these forms, let's take a look at how to set these up. So starting with freeze form, the first field is called maximum allowable freeze months. So if you have a max of, say, maybe 3 months that you allow your members to put their account on hold for, then you would set that stipulation here. If there's no max, then you can leave that open-ended and just set it up at the time of filling out the form through XCapture. If any freeze fee is to be applied, you can specify what the amount is here, and then specify whether or not it's a monthly or a one-time fee. So this would charge the customer monthly. If you are going to charge it for, say, the 3 months that they're on hold, they will get charged the monthly fee those 3 months. Or if you'd rather it just be a one-time fee that they get charged because they're putting their account on hold, you can choose either one of those, or just simply leave it blank if you are not going to charge a freeze fee. Extend fulfillment date. If you're going to push out their contract date for those months that they had their account on hold, you can specify yes or no if you're going to extend their fulfillment date or their contract date. Send email copy to is the next field. So if any employees, whether it's the managers or the owners, would like to see copies of these forms as they're being filled out through XCapture, you can input the employee address here. If you need to input more than one, you can do so. Just make sure you're separating it by a semicolon. Freeze terms and conditions is next. So any terms and conditions that pertain to a member putting their account on hold, make sure that that verbiage is inputted into the section so that it appears on the change form through XCapture, and the member will be able to read that information and agree to those terms. And then finally, we have the email text box here where you could type out the emailed message that the customer will receive along with the attachment of their freeze form. So if you want to give them further details or instructions, feel free to input that here, and they'll receive this as the message that goes along with their form. Scrolling down, we come to our next form to set up here, which is the billing change form. So if a member is wanting to update their credit card or bank account information, and we're doing that via XCapture and the change forms, we would first input the billing change terms and conditions. So if you have any terms and conditions that pertain to someone updating their billing information, we just make sure that that verbiage is inputted into this section so that it appears on that change form when it's being filled out through XCapture. And then we do have an email confirmation box here where you can create the email that's going to go along with the attachment of their billing change form that they filled out. And then finally, at the end here, we have cancel change form. If you are going to allow your members to fill out cancellation requests through the XCapture change forms, up at the top, our first field is can cancel within days of fulfillment date. So if, for example, your members are required of giving you, say, a 30-day notice, then you can set that as your criteria here. If you would like these forms that are being filled out to be sent to also a member of management or the owner for review, or just so they have an idea of the members that are canceling, you can send email copy to whichever that employee may be. Go ahead and put that email address in this field. terms and conditions that pertain to someone requesting to cancel their account, that verbiage would go into this section. And then we do have the cancel email confirmation box here, so you can type in your email message that you would like to go along with the attachment of the customer's cancel request form that they're going to receive via email. And once you've filled out this section, you would make sure to click Save at the bottom so these are kept in your particular system. That covers the XCapture setup. Thank you.